Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the work of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Picking up from where we left off last week. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, the Honourable TEIXEIRA, has reaffirmed government's commitment to preserving the health and safety of Guyanese following last month's unprecedented flooding in several regions of the country.
The fact is that in the period of this natural disaster, the mobilization and support by the government, by the President himself, by ministers in the field, trying to rectify the problems, trying to see how to pump the water out of areas and to reduce the damage and the impact on people's safety. The first instance, the first phase was to protect lives and health and ensure people were safe.
The minister's statement comes in wake of former President David Granger calling for a commission of inquiry into the government's flood response.
Instead of Mr. Granger calling for a commission inquiry, he should be looking at in what way can he, as a former president, support the efforts of the Civil Defense Commission, the National Task Force, and the President of Guyana in protecting our people, making sure their health is safe, particularly in a COVID pandemic, and being able to make sure we recover as quickly as possible from this natural disaster.
Data shows that some 50,000 households have been affected by the flooding. Consequently, over 80,000 food and sanitation hampers have been distributed, while temporary housing facilities were set up for those affected. Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable ZULFIKAR MUSTAPHA, says government will ensure that farmers are compensated adequately for their produce. On Saturday last, the minister announced that discussions are progressing smoothly with an investor who will be constructing an agro-processing plant in Blackbush Polder, Quarantine, Berbice. This, the minister said, will give farmers a readily available market and will put the country in a position to tap into CARICOM's US $5 billion food import bill.
We want our farmers now to move further. We want our farmers to get more value for the produce. We want to move away from this subsistence way of doing things, like from the market, from the farm to the market. So what we will be doing, we will be setting up agro-processing facilities in various parts of the country. Right here in Blackbush Polder, Dr. Ashley will elaborate on it, but in another year from now, you will have your own agro-processing facility in Maibikuri, Blackbush Polder.
Meanwhile, Minister Mustafa also announced that government will be constructing 2 pump stations in the area, one for drainage and the other for irrigation during the dry season. Special arrangements have been put in place for HIV patients to comfortably and discreetly take their COVID-19 vaccines. Minister of Health, the Honourable Dr. Frank Anthony, made the disclosure during Tuesday's COVID-19 update.
One of the issues that we have heard is that persons who are HIV positive did not feel comfortable coming to one of our regular vaccination sites. And so, as of this week, we have been working with the National Care and Treatment site here in Georgetown to make that also into a vaccination site. So they should start from this week. So patients going there for their regular treatment, they would be counseled about taking the vaccine, and they can get the vaccine right there.
Minister Anthony says he's hopeful that the accommodation will encourage more HIV patients to take the COVID vaccine. He says this will also be extended to other patients with chronic non-communicable diseases. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honourable NIGEL, has warned contractors that government will no longer accept deadline breaches when it comes to infrastructural projects. On Tuesday, during a meeting with Region 3 and 4 contractors, the minister said for this to happen, projects must be properly outlined and followed with detailed reports.
Every project, you have to have a commencement order. Every site visit has to have a site report that is countersigned by the contractor or the representative and the regional supervisor, whoever goes on behalf of the REO to these sites. We have also said that the interim payments must also be countersigned, so that I don't want to get to a stage where when we are doing the final payment or the one before the retention, that there is an issue.
Minister of Natural Resources, the Honourable VICKRAM BHARRAT, has called on miners to boost the production of aggregate materials to meet local demand. The minister made the call during a quarrying seminar hosted on Tuesday by the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission.
With our plan and our vision to modernize and to transform our economy and to build new highways, and with oil and gas bringing to Guyana so much investment, we realize that the demand for building materials would increase tremendously. How I see it, the demand will probably reach 1.5 million tons in another year or two. And we are still producing at maybe 650,000.
The Natural Resources Minister has recommitted to working in the best interest of miners and urged them to see the GGMC as their partner. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honourable Nigel DHARAMLALL, on Wednesday witnessed the signing of a $41 million contract for the construction of an infectious diseases unit at the New Amsterdam Hospital. That contract was awarded to Navin and Sons Construction Company.
This unit is basically going to consolidate all the infectious diseases into one area rather than it being spread, the management and the clinical services being offered in different departments. So this is part of the enhanced services that we are providing in Region 6 as well.
The commencement date and duration of the contract will be finalized soon. This unit will complement the Infectious Diseases Hospital at Liliendal, which houses COVID-19 patients. Minister DHARAMLALL also conducted 2 meetings with contractors in Regions 5 and 6. The minister highlighted the need for better communication between the contractors and the Regional Democratic Council.
When contractors go into different areas, we expect them to source labor from the area at different levels, whether it is skilled or unskilled or professional services. They must give priority to the area that they are working in. In that way too, I think that the community itself, having invested in the project, that they will take ownership of it. And when there is ownership of projects in communities, there is going to be sustainable management of those projects.
Now over to the Ministry of Agriculture. $340 million in contracts was awarded for major projects countrywide. During the signing, Minister the Honourable ZULFIKAR MUSTAPHA said the ministry is advancing its 2021 work programme and is hopeful that by year-end, all projects outlined would be accomplished.
Of course, I will ensure that our technical officers, the engineers from the Ministry of Agriculture and Gaisuku also, that they pay close attention to the quality of these works.
The minister said some of the contracts awarded are in keeping with commitments made by His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali and cabinet ministers when they visited flood-affected communities.
Last month, when I visited Region 2, Pomeroon, with His Excellency the President, he committed that we'll be doing some empowerment there so that we can avoid future flooding in terms of people's farmland being flooded out. And I'm very happy that from last month to now we have had that contract. That contract will be signing today.
Minister of Labour, the Honourable Joseph Hamilton, conducted routine inspections at several companies in Bartica to ensure they are in full compliance with the labour laws. The first stop was at the VICKRAM Holdings Private Incorporated, a logging company that was flagged for health and safety and labour infractions when Minister Hamilton visited back in March.
In the same way how I lambast this company, I would like to start out by saying compliments to what they have done, the transformation in the last 3 months. They paid attention to the officers. Guidance regarding occupation safety and health. You would note that this place we're standing on had wires running on the floor, intermingling with water and slush and everything that was wrong. So people who were working here daily, they were more dead than alive, so to speak. What I note today is that wires are rerouted overhead, fire extinguishers are hung, standard. The place is cleaner.
Minister Hampton also visited the St. Mary's and BK quarries. While the BK quarry was commended for following all the necessary health and safety guidelines, the St. Mary's quarry was in breach of many of the OSH and labour laws. Minister Hamilton said he will be summoning a meeting with the managers of the St. Mary's quarry to address those matters. Guyana has secured funding from the Global Fund for its current COVID-19 campaign. During Thursday's COVID-19 update, Minister of Health, the Honourable Dr. Frank Anthony, said the International Financing and Partnership Organization, which usually supports countries' fight against AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria, opened a special window for countries to apply for COVID grants.
We have been able late last year, to receive a small grant from the Global Fund for purposes of responding to COVID-19. We started that application about a month ago, and we have put it in, and as of 2 days ago, Guyana has been very successful.
The Health Minister said Guyana requested funding to upgrade intensive care units throughout the country to better serve patients, especially those affected by COVID-19.
So these funds would assist us in adding ICU type of beds. It would also assist us in procuring monitors and ventilators and create a space in each one of the regional hospitals so that we can manage patients with severe COVID.
Minister Anthony said government is expecting the US $1.8 million or Guyana $360 million grant over the next couple of months to be able to achieve its outlined objectives. That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.